you know, my name is Claire Ray, and I was the corporate communications intern this summer. A little bit about me. I was raised on my family farm about 20 miles west of Dubuque, Iowa, in a small town called Bernard, Iowa. My two older brothers and two younger sisters and I were raised in an agriculture-based community by my parents, Mike and Bridget Ray. My dad and my oldest brother actually plant and sell Pioneer corn and soybeans. So I grew up around all John Deere equipment my entire life. I'm entering my third year at Iowa State University, and I will actually be graduating in May with a major in marketing and minor in apparel merchandising. I had the chance to work on a lot of amazing projects this summer at John Deere, but three of the main ones that I worked on were John Deere Online, Digital Signs, and Watchfire. With John Deere Online, I would publish articles that other people in our division would write, and I also got the chance to write an article myself, which I'm actually in the middle of doing. It is about how John Deere is trying to become more green, and I conducted a couple interviews yesterday with the Aramark manager and the environmental engineer here for World Headquarters, and just talked about all the compostable and biodegradable and recyclable products that are in the cafeteria and the back rooms. But the big thing for John Deere Online that I worked on was the corporate communications website. We migrated it over to a more updated version of SharePoint. So at the beginning of the summer, Katie Kite did some John Deere Online training with me and another intern, and she just took us through like the different ways to set up a website and the different ways that you can make a layout and how to link from your website to a different website. So me and Katie Boston went through the old corporate communications website and cleaned it up and took out anything that didn't need to be in there. And as you can see, this isn't very visually appealing. So the new one isn't launched yet, but it will look somewhat similar to this. So that's pretty exciting. I'm really excited that I got to work on that. Another thing that I got to work on this summer was digital signs. So all the signs that you see throughout headquarters are designed to help engage employees and keep them informed, whether it be from the service years to general things like the core values to announcing dates of special events that were going on. That's some of the stuff that I worked on for this. I worked really closely with Bruce Hutton and Stacy Bonlany on these signs. Bruce and Katie Boston would help me with the wording because you can't have too much on a sign that you can't read it in 5 seconds as you're walking by. But at the same time, you have to have enough on there so they know exactly what you're talking about and what you're trying to inform them of. And with Stacy, I worked closely with her because she is the person in charge of digital signs. So I emailed back and forth with her a lot, and she would put the signs up when they needed to go up and take them down when they needed to go down. And I also created a calendar to help organize when the signs should go up and when they need to go down. So when I'm gone, it just helps. It's easier for everyone to figure out when those need to go up. So this is one of the first signs that I worked on for the 50th anniversary with Bruce. And these three are a few that I just finished up recently. They're foundation slides. And then this is the calendar. So like as you can tell for August, these are the signs that should be up for August and then September and so on. And the final project that I worked on this summer was Watchfire reports. So what Watchfire is a report that will go through all of John Deere Online, the internal divisions, and pull anything that is a broken link or a spelling error. So Katie Kite would run the report, and then she would send all of the content to me, and I would clean that content up and make sure it was appropriate enough to send out to the different contacts for each division. And so she would send me something that looked something like this, and there would be like 3,000 rows, and I would go through it and clean it up and make sure there were no duplicates, make sure to take out anything that was blocked because those would come up as a broken link. And with spelling errors, they pulled anything that was abbreviated. So as you all know, everything that can be abbreviated at John Deere is abbreviated. So I would have to take all those out, and I would make it a lot easier to read and something smaller like this, and they would have more closely to like 20 things that would be like broken links or spelling errors. So that was a big project. What I learned so many things at John Deere that I'm so thankful that I got the chance to work on this summer. But a few of the main things that I got to work on were SharePoint and how to create a website. Within that, I got to learn how to closely review things, because with John Deere Online, there's so many different websites that you're linking to from the website that I worked on, and I had to make sure that they were the correct websites and they weren't broken, and made sure that everything was spelled correctly and typed correctly. So I learned how to review things more meticulously. Another thing that I learned was how to be more visually creative, especially when it came to working with a limited amount of words, space, and pictures. And lastly, I definitely learned better communication skills, especially with Watchfire. I was emailing people that have worked at John Deere for how many years, and so that was kind of intimidating, so I just had to make sure that I came off very professionally to them. My summer did not only consist of working on projects, though. I did get to have a lot of fun and meet a lot of people at John Deere, interns, as well as people that have worked here for how many years. One of my favorite things about coming to work every day was going down to get my coffee at Java City every morning. I would walk by like 10 to 15 different people who all had huge smiles on their faces, and they would all say, "Good morning," or "How are you?" or just a simple hi. And I think this is something really little that says so much about this company and the type of people that work here. This top picture right here is a picture of me and Andrea Olowinski, who was the brand management intern this summer, with Rachel Raines, who was the communications intern in Olathe, Kansas, in the Ag and Turf division. Rachel came a couple months ago to visit all the factories in the Quad Cities, and we got together and talked about the different projects that we were working on, and it was really neat because Rachel was actually working on a few of the same projects that I've been working on, so we kind of compared how each of us do it, and we did it differently, so it was really cool to see like how she would go about her projects and how I would go about my projects. The middle picture is a picture of me and my intern volleyball team. We would meet every Tuesday at Junkie Park in Davenport, and I got to meet a lot of neat people through that too. The other top picture is a picture of me and Andrea at the first tour that I got to go on at Harvester Works. And then a couple weeks ago, Katie, Julie, Andrea, and I went to the historic site, and we got to meet the blacksmith Rick, and he gave us each a leaf, and that was really cool. And I thought I was really special until I found out that he gives everybody a leaf. So. And then that's a picture of me and Andrea in front of the John Deere statue. And then last Friday, me and Andrea went to the Davenport Works tour, and after that, we knew an intern that worked there this summer, so he brought us out back and gave us a little backstage tour. I also got to go to the photo studio and archives recently, which were both really, really neat places. But the one place that I'm really excited that I got to go to was the Waterloo Museum that is not opened yet. And I think I was very fortunate to be able to go on that trip, and I just think that everybody needs to go see that place once it does open. Future plans. After I graduate in May, I'm trying to get a job in the marketing rep program here in either the CNF division or the Ag and Turf division. And I just met with the director for the CNF division on Monday, and I will actually know by September 1st if I have an offer. So that's very exciting, but very nerve-wracking at the same time. Thank yous. I would like to especially thank Katie Boston for all of your guidance this summer and all the projects that you had assigned to me. I know I was so lucky to have you as a boss, and can't thank you enough for that. Katie Kite, I would like to thank you also for challenging me with all of your projects this summer and helping keep me busy. And lastly, I would like to thank Russ Walker and the rest of the corporate communications team. for being so inviting and nice this summer. It's so much easier coming to work every day when you have so many helpful and friendly people surrounding you every day. And finally, before questions, this is for Tom. You can't really see it, but it's really funny. All for you, Tom. Okay. Are there any questions?
Good, Tom, tell us about that.
Good
What's that about?
I have 2 questions.